And in the season finale, Polarity, Emma, Jordan, Marie, they all take Doug, the old Cypher, back to Polarity's place, and they just start hearing his side of things. Basically, he was working at a Blockbuster Video, and the old Doug, who at that point was a very, very old man, he showed up. He got some backstory on Doug, realizing that he didn't really have any family members. Nobody would be looking for him. And Godolkin had him switch places. And then he had Doug kill the first version. And as Doug is talking about this, you can tell he really is upset about having to kill this guy. He didn't want to. He's trying to explain what it was like having Godolkin in his head, and Jordan jumps in and says, yeah, it's like being in the backseat of a car you're not driving. Annabeth then asks a really good question. If he can control anybody, why can't he control Marie? And Doug says it's because she's too powerful. He tried in Elmira, and he wasn't able to. The one thing he wasn't lying about is Odessa. It put you on a different level. Doug, however, is really banged up. They realize that he needs a doctor immediately. They can't take him to a hospital. It's too risky. So Polarity says, I have a friend who might be able to help him out. I'll drive him there. And while he's doing that, the kids are going to figure out what exactly they're going to do about Godolkin, who at this point is enjoying being, quote-unquote, back. And he's enjoying it with Sister Sage. They hook up. They have pillow talk about moving in together. And then they get into why he wants to be back so badly. His big vision. He still wants to, quote-unquote, call the herd. And Sister Sage can't figure out why exactly he even wants to do this. It's not important, at least to her. But to him, teaching this last class where he will start to call the herd is very important. And there's nothing stopping him from doing it. At this point, though, the kids have gotten back to Godolkin. They're sitting in a dorm. They're trying to figure out what they want to do, and their big concern is the fact that Godolkin would get into Marie's head and then be able to just control her. The girls then share a heartwarming moment together, and while Emma's in the bathroom, Marie decides, you know what, it's time that I do, in fact, fix Kate. And she does. But then a few seconds after she does fix Kate, everybody gets a message on their phone. And I don't mean just them. Everybody at Godolkin U gets a message, and it is from Thomas Godolkin, announcing that he has returned, he is not dead, and announcing that the rankings are no more. They're going to hold open tryouts for new rankings. They're going to break everybody up into certain groups. You're going to show up at the facility where Cypher was kind of doing that little training seminar, and this is your chance. And for a lot of the kids, the rankings do matter because it means monetary gain. The higher you're ranked, the more money you get. So a lot of kids are like, thank God, this is my chance, not realizing it is a death sentence for a lot of them. For Marie and her group, they realize exactly what Cypher's doing. They also realize they need to stop it. So Marie puts out her own message saying, hey, do not go. I'm telling you, you will regret it, but no one really listens. But while Marie is doing that, the others are actually going around campus trying to stop people from going to this quote-unquote seminar, including Emma and Sam, who go to Sam's frat, which includes Rufus, and they try to tell them, guys, don't go. But Rufus uses his powers to shut them up, drugging them essentially, and he ends up going, along with a few others. They're in the first group. And Rufus, along with everybody else, quickly realize when they get to the seminar that they made a grave mistake. I mean, Godolkin tears them all up, controlling the majority of them to fight each other. One kid is able to get out of there, and he runs through campus screaming. He's killing them in there. He's killing them. But no one's really listening, except Marie. Marie does end up hearing this. She listens, and now her suspicions are confirmed. Godolkin is a madman. Before Marie goes and handles whatever's going on with Godolkin, she does have to have a serious conversation with Jordan, though, apologizing for leaving her again, where Jordan breaks up with Marie, saying, look, this is never going to work. You hate to see young love die, but it does die. The group then, which includes Annabeth, Sam, Emma, some random guy from Sam's frat, they all get together along with Jordan and Marie, and they need to come up with an idea, and Sam and Emma think they have a pretty good one. This is an idea to actually be able to stop Godolkin once and for all. But they aren't the only ones that want to stop Godolkin, because Sister Sage was watching his little seminar the entire time, and she's now concerned that his eye is off the prize, as Godolkin is basking in the fact that he was only really able to control one or two people at most, and now he's able to control more than that at one time. Sister Sage asks him, what are you doing? He tells her that he's evolving, leveling up, And he's doing it for the betterment of the soup population. But she doesn't buy that. He tells her, no, I'm serious. Once I'm strong enough, I'll be able to control her. And if I can control one Odessa baby, I can control the other one. The other one being Homelander. But she shakes her head and says, no, there's no reason to. And he says, there's every reason to. Look at this school. These students are pathetic. She starts trying to reason with him, but there is no reasoning with him. And that's when she realizes she needs to step in and do something. And in order to do something, she needs to get the one person who was able to somewhat fight him off, that being Polarity. So she gets the new Noir to go track down Polarity, and he's able to do that as Polarity is driving Doug to the hospital. And they have a really good conversation. Doug actually makes Polarity feel a lot better by telling him, Andre was the greatest soup I've ever seen. I mean, the things that he did in Elmira to push back on Godolkin, he would have been so proud. And in that moment, it really, really does help Polarity heal. But then Noir shows up. He ends up killing Doug, trapping Polarity, and bringing him into custody, where Sage is able to talk to him. They have a pretty tense conversation, and she doesn't flat out tell Polarity what she wants him to do. She's actually kind of insulting. But when she leaves, he notices that she left the door open. So he just walks out. And the big reason why she's doing all this is because she has a foolproof plan. And in phase 2 of that plan, Homelander is a vital part of it. But somewhere along the line, Godolkin thought that his plan was better. And of course, she, being so smart, knows that it's not. She doesn't want to take any risks, and now he's a risk. At this point, Godolkin has gone to his next seminar with the next group of students that he can just weed through, but that's when Marie shows up. Godolkin immediately starts controlling the students in the room to attack Marie, but she's able to get through the majority of them. And that's when the cavalry shows up. Emma, Jordan, Sam, Harper, Allie, they were all in the room. It's hard to really explain how they were in the room without getting demonetized, but they were in somebody, basically, and that somebody pushed them out, and all of a sudden, Godolkin was overrun with soups. But he wasn't just overrun with soups. He was overrun by those that he would deem as being expendable. And those expendable soups teamed up together and ended up trapping him. The essential one really being Harper, who was able to get to him thanks to Allie's superpower of tying him up with her hair. And for 60 seconds, she was able to control everybody, letting all the students go free from Godolkin's reign of terror, where then a lot of them started getting everybody, all the innocent kids, out of there to safety. This left Marie, Annabeth, Kate, Jordan, Sam, the group. Marie really taking the lead, trying to talk to Godolkin, tell him that it's over, but as she started to control him, he was able to get into her head. It was their biggest fear realized. It was the vision that Annabeth had. And now that he was able to control Marie, Marie was able to control everybody else using her powers, and it wasn't looking good. And that is when Polarity showed up. Using his powers, Godolkin was thrown to the side. It freed up Marie. And at that point, Marie couldn't take any chances. She used her powers to just blow him up. As the group ended up leaving the training seminar area, Polarity said, you guys got to get out of here. Vault's on their way, and this isn't looking good. Everybody thinks you're Starlighters. And initially, they don't want to go, but eventually they all realize, no, he's right. And it's Emma who tries to invite him to come with them, but he says, no, I can't. I have unfinished business here. Before she leaves, though, she does say goodbye to Greg. They hook up, and then everybody gets the hell out of there. They get far enough off campus where they think that they're pretty safe, and then they start discussing how exactly they're going to get in contact with Stan Edgar. Nobody has a really good plan. Most of them table that conversation, though, because people have to use the bathroom and whatnot, and Marie goes up to Annabeth and says, look, Godolkin's dead. I mean, you can go. Live your life. But Annabeth's not leaving. She's not leaving Marie at this point. She's here to stick it out and stay by her side. That's when the lights start flickering, and Annabeth has a quick vision and says she's here. And she is obviously Starlight. She apologizes to all the kids, saying how idiotic it was that she fell for Sister Sage's trap, but does ask them, are you ready to join the Resistance? And she's not the only one. The A-Train is there as well. They were easily able to track down Marie and her group, so while they think they have their own resistance, they're on board to join this Starlight Resistance against Vought. And that is the end of Season 2. Thank you so much for getting this part of the recap. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. Hit thumbs up if you liked it. Smash the thumbs down button if you thought it sucked. Become a member of the channel. That'd be cool. I have merch and stuff. Christmas is coming up. Who doesn't like a t-shirt or a hoodie or a mug or something? And be nice in the comment section. If I made a mistake, mistakes happen. I'm not the perfect soup. Neither are you. And this was free. So just keep that in mind if I made a mistake. Be respectful and baby shit soft. But rest assured, I will be here for season 3.